Hi guys, welcome to Open Hand Farm and to week 2 of the Pantry Challenge. For those of you who have not seen my first video, my first week was cut short on day 6 when I tested positive for COVID. So I got put in quarantine, which meant I could not be in the kitchen. So I'm out of quarantine. But unfortunately, my husband is in quarantine now, as of this morning. So I thought I would just come in and throw together a little soup for us to have tonight. I just kind of looked in the pantry, saw what I had, looked in the fridge, saw what I had, and I'm putting together a rice and sausage and red bean soup. The first thing I'm going to do is just start some rice. My rice is from Azure Standard, and I always put the label off of the bag onto my jar, and then on the back, I always write the directions so that I have them there all the time. So I'm just going to make a double batch of this rice because if I don't need all of it, it could be used for something else. It's always nice to have a little rice or quinoa or some kind of grain cooked in the fridge that you could just add to things. The sausage, I know it should have been like a smoked sausage or something like that. All I had was some breakfast sausage from our hog that we got this year. So I browned some of that. And then I had just canned up some red beans. So I've got those already cooked. So we're just going to wait for that sausage to finish browning and that rice to finish cooking, and then we're going to throw it together. So my rice got done, and I'm looking at it, and there was too much rice for sure. I might have taken too much out, but I can always add more in, but I couldn't take more out after I mixed this all together. Now I'm going to add my sausage that browned. There's not a lot of fat in this sausage, so I don't really need to strain it or anything. Okay, so I'm going to mix that up and just check my rice level. What, baby? My grandson just gave me his book. These are the beans that I should have not filled the jar so much. So the top part of them is dry. So, but they're tender. They're not hard or anything. But I'm going to have to kind of pry them out of this jar. Grandma's making soup. Can you say hi?
Hi.
You got your cowboy hat?
Yeah.
You got your cow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's my helper. Okay. So, as I'm stirring this up. Yes, baby? Gigi's playing the computer. I'm Baba. He can't say grandma, so I'm Baba. Okay. So, this is looking like a good mixture, but we're missing something if it's going to be soup, and that is liquid. So, I have this partial jar of oxtail beef broth that I made, and I'm going to start with that and add that in there. I'm going to put water in this and have this extra liquid. And I want to add a little bit of tomato. So let me go grab some tomato sauce. I actually had some tomato paste in the fridge, so I'm going to use some of that and kind of work it in. I don't want it real tomatoey, but it needs to have a flavorful broth. Okay, actually add a little bit more, and then I'll add some more water. Yeah, baby. Help with what, sweetie? Who needs help? You need help?
Yeah.
With what?
Help.
Just a minute. Oh, you need a chair?
Yeah.
Genesee's playing a video game on learning her numbers, and he wants to sit and watch her. So I'll be right back. My last pantry challenge video, I voiced over everything because of all the talking and moving around that's always in my house, and I decided this time I'm going to just let it all happen and see which one you like the best. Now we need some seasoning. I'm just going to add some Creole seasoning like I do when I make my jambalaya. Okay, we're going to let that heat up, kind of get those flavors all mixed together. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make some biscuits to go with this. Okay, I'm going to make some sourdough biscuits. They're so easy. If you've never made them, you should. Yes, sweetheart? Oh, he wants to help me? We got to get a chair. Just a minute. Okay, here's my helper. Okay, so let me just show you the biscuits here.
Yeah.
Okay, shh, you have to be quiet while Grandma does this, okay? Not yet. Hold on. Okay, we have 3 cups of flour, and we're going to add 3 tablespoons since someone wants to do this for me. Okay, good job. There's 1, 2, 3. You don't want to eat that. And a half. Good job. 3.5 tablespoons of baking powder. This is not actually this brand. I buy it from Azure Standard, and just stick it in these cans because I like the way you can wipe the spoon off. Okay, now we're going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We're going to mix this together.
Say hi.
Oh, all right. Good job.
Grandma, now. I'm gonna not be rude.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a turn?
Well, hold on. Let's put the butter in.
Okay.
We're going to use 1 stick of butter, and it should be cold right out of the fridge. This one is a little bit warmer because I've been back and forth with kids, and it's been out just a second.
No cheese.
So I use a cutter to cut my butter in just because I feel like it's faster. Just a minute. Okay, Genesee's going to just smash this butter for me. Don't make a mess with it. Do it gently and rock it in there and smash it like that. Good job. We want it to be about pea size, which you can just use your hands and kind of work it in. It doesn't matter. And I've done really small pea size, and I've done the fast, let's just get it done, and left bigger chunks. Either one works. Okay, just a minute, Tev. Grandma, do it first. My turn. Okay, that part's done. Oh, you wanted to do that part. Okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All done. All right, now we're going to add our milk, and we need a cup of milk. I do not have any cow milk right now, so I'm using almond milk, which is fine. You can use any kind that you want to use. I'm going to leave it out in case I feel like I need a little bit more. And now we're going to add our starter. This has not been fed today. It was fed yesterday, so it's a little runny. And I need 1.5 cups of starter.
Hi. I don't do this part.
I'll do this part.
Hi. He has to do that part.
Hold on. All right, Grandma, get it stirring up here.
What does starter smell like?
It smells sourdough. It's tangy. The smell is tangy. Can you say tangy?
Tangy.
Yeah. And this starter has been sitting for about 7 years. So the longer it sits, the tangier it gets. Plus, it needed to be fed. So it's going to have a tangier smell to it. So these will be more sourdough tasting than most of the time. Thank you, brother. I have a stone here that I'm going to put them on. I don't grease it or anything. I'm going to put just a little bit of flour down and pour this out.
Bop, bop.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. This is pretty moist, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to overwork your biscuit dough. So I just kind of fold it on itself a couple of times, and then I don't even roll it. I just push it out to where it's about, maybe half an inch. And then we'll cut it.
Can I try that?
Okay, let me do some first.
Say hi.
Just a minute. Okay, Genesee. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tab, just a minute. Let Genesee try. Okay. Got it? I don't know that you went deep enough on that one. Okay, here, brother, you do that one. Right there. Push hard. Oh, good job. And we'll put it on the pan. You got it? Oh, good job. Okay. Let me get these done. The more you re-roll it, the more flour you put in it, and the tougher the biscuit is. This is moist enough that I think it's going to be okay to re-roll it. Here, let's make another circle. You did. I see that. Okay, here, you can just play with this. You want to play with that?
Yeah.
All right. So there's our biscuits. We're going to stick them in the oven when it's heated. And after 15 minutes, we've got biscuits. They're like a buttermilk biscuit. So good. Crunchy on top. These didn't get as brown, but that's okay. My husband does not like them real brown. Okay, let's get Mark a bowl of soup. And a biscuit. We'll give him one of these lighter ones because that's what he likes. Maybe I'll give him two. All right, I'm going to take this to him and I'll be back. And here's mine. Can't wait to sit down and eat it. Hey, this is Tuesday, which I'm counting as a Monday because I was still sick yesterday, but I just had some oatmeal for breakfast, nothing exciting. You did not miss out on anything, but I just got back from getting my Azure order, and if you're not sure what Azure Standard is, I will put a card to one of my orders so that you can watch it and see what it is. But that was my one thing that I said I would allow myself to buy this month was my Azure order. Now, I will not place an order for February. I just needed to stock up on some things that we normally get, and I wasn't able to get them in December, so I had to get them this month. Let me tell you, I would have preferred December. It was -1 while we were out there unloading the truck and getting our order, but it's okay, no big deal. Everybody worked hard, we got it done fast, and we got home. So I did video everything that I bought. It was one of my biggest orders that I've had, and that will be up in the next day or so. But in that order, I got this gluten-free bread called Happy Campers. So today, I'm just gonna put together some avocado toast, and the house is quiet. Today's my son's birthday, so they all left to go do something. I don't know what, but I'm gonna take advantage of it. While that toast, I also got a box of Fuji apples, and I love this little bitty one, so I'm gonna have it for lunch with my avocado toast. kind of spread that in, because if it sits in there a little bit, it kind of melds the flavors and it doesn't just fall off. And I'm also going to have a cheese stick. So there's my lunch for today.
Basically, Dylan shoot flaming arrows at a boat with a body on it, and you just assumed you could do it because you hit somebody else now.
I'll go. Hot, hot.
It's hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma, this food is fun.
You like it? Yeah, it's really.
Good morning. It is Wednesday morning and I just ate avocado toast for breakfast. I'm going to put one of our pork roast in the crock pot today. I'm not going to season it any certain way because I want to use it for different things, and I will season it as I use it. So I'm just going to pop it in the crock pot and then it'll be ready later in the day. I know this is a tight fit in here, but I also know it's going to cook down and render some of that fat off, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll add some salt. This is a kosher salt. And some pepper. We'll add some water. Kind of lift it up to make sure I get it all under there that I need to. Okay. Now, we'll just turn that on low and get it cooking. So I need to put these things in jars for storage, so I thought I'd bring you along. So we're going to do the raisins first, and I want to put them in smaller jars instead of putting them all in a 1-gallon jar. You like raisins? I'm going to leave a little bit of space here because I want to seal these jars to keep the air out of them. There. Oh no, it's not bad. Okay. So we're going to seal these. So we need to put a lid on, but not the ring, just the lid. You want to put a lid on one of these, on these other two? Here. You put a lid on those. And we're going to go the old school way by using a brake bleeder. Oops, we need a lid on this one too. It's right there. So we're going to put this over the jar like that. We're going to snap it on. Okay, we're going to put that in there. And, oh, well, I need you to hold this so that I can pump. Thank you. You don't have to push hard if you don't want to. Just hold it tight there. We're almost there. We're losing it.
My hands are
okay,
sweaty.
We'll just do that. All right. And there we are. Good job. Now, okay, now we're going to do this coconut. We're going to do it the same way. All right, time to pump.
Okay.
And last but not least, we have Italian seasoning. I'm putting this in pint jars. I'm actually only going to put lids like this on 3 of these to put in storage, but I need a jar of the Italian seasoning on my seasoning shelf. So I'm just going to add this lid and put it on my shelf after I label it. And I'll just do these exactly the same. And here they are on the shelf in the larder. For lunch, I'm going to brown some ground beef And I'm just going to have a taco. I love tacos. I know it's not Tuesday, but it doesn't matter what day of the week it is when it comes to tacos. But I'm browning enough that we can have tacos tomorrow. Okay, we're going to shred up one of my blocks of the cheddar cheese that I got from Azure Standard. The raw medium cheddar. That way I'll just have it to use for tacos today and tomorrow and for anything else we need it for. We use a lot of shredded cheese around here. Tevia's over here with me. Can't see him because he's on the opposite side of me, but he's playing with my Tabasco sauce, which I absolutely love on tacos.
Mommy, Mom.
Do you need a piece of cheese?
Yeah.
You're welcome. I like to shred my cheese on my bees wrap. Okay, there you go, brother. You're welcome.
Bubuk.
So I'm going to open this Nancy's probiotic sour cream. I've used all the other Nancy products, but I've never tried the sour cream. So I'm really excited to try this. I know all the other things are so very, very good. So I tried the sour cream. It is the best sour cream I've ever had. It's actually very sweet. I thought it would be tangy. It's very sweet, very good.
Yeah, I do.
I use this kind of seasoning in my taco meat. I really, really like it. It is gluten-free, and it does not have a lot of odd things down here. Just everything I read, I know what it is. Okay, now I'm going to put these together. You might hear some ABC singing in the background. We're doing some schooling today, and they are both doing a great job. I start with sour cream instead of putting it on top because I want it to reach every bite. I don't just want to dollop in the middle, and especially with this sour cream. First of all, I'm using spinach and arugula, and I'm putting it on under the meat because I don't want the leaves all falling off when I take a bite. So basically, I do everything upside down. Then I'll add the meat. And then the cheese. And there you go, my Thursday lunch. I forgot the Tabasco. Tevia had it.
Grandma, you know what's my favorite healthy food?
What is it?
It's
Broccoli.
It's when it's made stuff. Ketchup and broccoli.
Oh.
That's my favorite.
Wow. That sounds like something.
I just like that.
Hey, welcome back. It's Thursday? No, yes, it's Friday. I don't even know anymore, you guys, to be real. For breakfast, you did not miss out on anything. I had a handful of nuts when I took my antibiotic, and I just didn't feel like eating anything else. And I had a friend over, the friend who texted me about when to plant certain plants and got me all frustrated about, oh my gosh, it's gonna be time and I'm not ready. So she came over today and we did our own little seed exchange and had coffee, and it was just really nice. So for lunch, Mark had to go somewhere, so I don't need to worry about him. So I am going to try these new thin stackers that I got from Azure. And the serving size is 4. It comes in these little packages of 6. Why do people do that? So now I'll have to open this up take 4 out and put 2 in a Ziploc bag and put them back in the box. I'll show you what I'm gonna put on it. I gotta tell you, my family says I eat really weird, and I do. I'm really trying to watch what I eat and make sure that what I'm eating is healthy. And I honestly think that's why I got sick when I did. It's because normally I'm good. I mean, even when I've had COVID before, but I wasn't really sick. But to get strep on top of it and whatever, I have been eliminating things from my diet. I've been trying to cleanse myself, and I think I just was kind of compromised at the time that I got COVID, and then it just rolled into something else. But I'm feeling great right now. I have my voice, all is good. And I'm just gonna try to continue eating well. Get out my 4 stackers. Or like Mark would say, my 4 pieces of styrofoam. We're gonna do avocado on at least 2 of them. So this will be a kind of a weird mix match lunch. At least I don't have to put all the avocado on one item this way. That's nice. Now, I know that the avocado doesn't have a lot of flavor. I know these don't have a lot of flavor. We got this cheese a little while back, and I tried to slice it, and it just fell apart because it was such a crumbly cheese. So I'm gonna add some of that because it's also kind of a sharp cheese, and I think it will really add some good flavor with this avocado. So I'm just kind of grabbing some of the smaller chunks. I don't want to overdo. All right, and then on top of that, I'm gonna use some everything bagel seasoning because, I mean, what doesn't need that? I don't know. Okay, so there we go. 2 crackers with avocado and cheese and everything bagel. Then on at least 1 more, I'm gonna put the Nancy's probiotic garlic and herb cream cheese spread that I love so much. This is very similar to what you can buy at the store that is a flavored cream cheese, but this one is extra fermented, so it's got probiotics in it. And I think I'll cut up an apple to go along with this. All right. Okay. So there is my very weird lunch for Friday. So I thought I would tell you what else I'm up to as to why I'm doing just a quick lunch. And we might just do a quick dinner. This cabinet right here, let me turn you around. It has been sitting right here in front of this window, which means we can't always see who's coming to the door, but we kind of didn't have anywhere to put it. And this is where Mark sits with his computer all the time. But this is a table that we use for our community dinners. And as you can see, this is like kind of a tight spot here. So over here, since we took the Christmas tree down, I have this big area. So we're gonna move it to this wall instead of over here. And that's been in the workings today. I'm waiting for Mark to get back so we can get it moved, but I emptied it all out and cleaned stuff out of it. So it's ready to go. Okay, it's almost time to start dinner, but I want to show you what I got done this afternoon. Move the table over a little bit, and there's still plenty of room, even with some boots sitting there. Now, let me show you where I put the cabinet. Right there. Let me go this way. I have this old hay rake, and I decided to put it up, and the board leaning against the wall next to it is my charcuterie board that I made, and a little lap tray that I redid, and a screen of some sort that I just like. Mark tells me it's silly. I like it. So let me get closer. Here's this stuff. And here is this cabinet. And you guys, oh my gosh, look at the back. I don't know if you can see. It looks so much better. Let me open the door. No more of that wood showing through. I painted it, the color I painted the creamery, which is very close to the color of these walls. So it's like the backboard just kind of blends in now. I love it. These are my seeds, in case you're wondering what these are, that are in bags that tell me when I need to start them and when I need to direct sow them. So I'm going to just grab out of this and keep an eye on my calendar, and then they're all together and I can just go take care of it. Now we got to get to dinner. So tonight we're going to use some of our acorn squash that we got at the produce auction in Windsor, Missouri. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I have a video about that. I'll put a card here and put a link in the description box. So I already cut them open and put some olive oil on them and put salt and pepper on them. And I'm going to put them in my 400-degree oven. So the next thing I need to do is make the sausage filling that's going to go inside our acorn squash. So let's get that going. The recipe actually calls for Italian sausage, but I don't have Italian sausage right now. I do have some just ground pork, and I want to use that to make some Italian sausage. So that's probably one of the things I'll do in the next couple of weeks, because I wanted to make pizza, and I love pizza with Italian sausage on it. You might think my house is kind of quiet today. Kaylee takes the kids over to a friend's house who has kids the same age, and they do like a preschool homeschool once a week, and they hadn't been in a while because everybody's been so sick. So they went over today for some time, and they were so excited, Genesee especially. That's how I got the work done in the room too. I didn't have to dodge children while I was moving furniture and stuff. Okay, we're just gonna let this brown. And while it's browning, I'm gonna chop up an onion and an apple, and I'll be back. I'm just gonna show you, these are a couple of the onions that we have from our garden. We're running low on them, but we have some others that I bought from Azure, so I would be sure and have some on hand. Okay, I've added my apples and my onions, and they're starting to cook down a little bit. Now I need to add the spices that we'll be using. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice. Then we also need to add some garlic. And it actually calls for garlic, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put some garlic powder in. Now I'm just gonna let this kind of simmer until our squash are done, and they still have 20 minutes. After we put this together with some of the acorn squash, we're going to add some thyme and sage. So I'm going to grab those, so I'll have those ready. Okay, we're going to add, I don't have fresh sage, but I have some dried sage from my garden. So we're going to add some sage leaves. It says 2 tablespoons of fresh. So I'm going to try actually I'm going to do less than what I think it will be, because it also says that you can do thyme with the sage. You can do either thyme or sage, or a little bit of both. So I have thyme from my garden as well. I'm going to add that to the mix, and we're going to crush them all up. My friend Erica gave me this mortar and pestle for my birthday 2 years ago, and I love it. So we're going to add that. And the recipe calls for Parmesan cheese. So we're going to put about 1/4 of a cup in here. Okay, those herbs just like took it over the top. We're going to spoon this into the acorn squash shells. Okay, then we're going to top it with the rest of the cheese. So we'll just sprinkle some on top, and that will melt on there. It's almost time for bed, but first I want to mix up some baked oatmeal for in the morning because I like to let it ferment overnight with some sourdough starter. So I'll show you how we do that. Okay, tonight all we're going to do is put in 4 cups of oatmeal, and this is rolled oats. All right, then we're going to add 6 cups of water. So I'm going to get 4 to start with. Okay. And then in this water, I'm going to add about 1/3 cup of sourdough starter. It's not real fed, but it is floating. Just going to whisk that in the water so that it gets distributed evenly with the water on the oats. And then I'm just going to pour it on. And then we need 2 more cups of water. And now I'm just going to mix it up. And it will sit like this overnight.
You need a dinosaur?
I'll just cover it with a towel. Good morning. It's Saturday, so the house is quiet. Nobody went to work this morning. So I'm going to make this oatmeal bake. And hopefully when they come up, it'll be done. So the sun is just starting to come up. It's kind of dark still. It's darker than what it looks in the video. I got a fire in the fireplace and just trying to warm it up in here to have breakfast. So the first thing I need to do is just take this over to the sink and strain all of this liquid out. And I will turn the oven on to 375 so it can start getting warm too. Okay, I'm going to dice an apple to add to it. The recipe actually calls for apples and cranberries, but since people in my family are not big cranberry fans, I use apples and raspberries. Tomorrow we have a family monthly dinner. I have a monthly dinner for my community, and I had not been able to see my kids and grandkids very much. And I thought, okay, wait a minute. If we have a family community dinner every month, why can't we have a family dinner every month with our family? So the first Monday of every month is our community dinner. And the third Sunday of every month is our family dinner. So that is tomorrow. So that will be the first day of my next video. All right, so there's an apple. So the recipe calls for 2 cups of cranberries. And this bag that I have up here in the freezer is actually 2.5 cups of raspberries. So I'm just gonna use all of those. And they can be frozen, that's no big deal. Okay, let's get this all put together. Now we're gonna add some salt. And we have cloves. We have nutmeg. I think we're gonna have just enough nutmeg. And then I use coconut sugar that I get from Azure Market, and it's extra fine. I don't know if you've ever used coconut sugar like from the store, and it's like it leaves things brown, actually, little brown dots because it's so big. This does not do that. I love it. Then we're gonna add 1.5 cups of milk. You can use any kind of milk you want. This is actually almond milk. We've got some butter. And we've got some eggs. We kind of stir those up a little bit before I put them in. And we'll just stir it all together. We're ready to put it in the pan. This will go in a 9x13 pan, and I'm just going to use the stick of butter to kind of butter the walls and the bottom. Okay. Now let's just get it all in there. And we'll put it in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour. It usually takes about 50 minutes for me. Okay, I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and put some bacon in the oven so we have a little extra protein to go with this too. But I wanna tell you one of the most important things that you can do as a from scratch cooker is to clean up your mess as you go. Then when you are done cooking everything and everybody's done eating, you don't end up with this huge disaster of a mess to clean up after you've been cooking so long. You saw all the dishes that I had here earlier, and it took me 3 minutes to wash them and put them away. I did not use the dishwasher. I washed them by hand and put them away, and now I have a clean kitchen. So when it's breakfast time, I can just sit down and enjoy my breakfast and not think about the work that has to be done afterwards. I like to cover my pan with foil when I'm making bacon. That way I don't have an extra job to clean up after it's done. But I'm going to show you the easiest way. Instead of taking your aluminum foil and trying to fit it into your pan, if you turn your pan over, lay the foil on it, kind of find it kind of even on each side, and then just do this. Then you turn them both over and you have a practically perfect fitting piece of foil. All right, get that in the oven so it can be cooking as well. Okay, here we are. And I just spoon it out. I don't try cutting it because it is kind of wet, like oatmeal would be. And I like it best with a little bit of butter and some maple syrup. It's not a real sweet oatmeal bake. It only has 3/4 of a cup of sugar in this whole pan. And I have made it without any sugar and then just added in the bowl. But there you go. Oatmeal bake for breakfast. And I forgot we're having bacon too. Okay, we're gonna gather up some things to take upstairs. I'm gonna grab some sausage to use. Actually, let me see. Okay, that's ground pork. This one is sausage. I can read the bag. I label my bags before I put them in here. I keep a little basket downstairs that I can pop open and use while I'm shopping in the basement. I'm also, for dinner tonight, going to use one of these frozen mashed potatoes. I really have no idea how that's going to work out, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to have those mashed potatoes with some pork chops that I brought up to thaw out yesterday. So I'm here looking for something to go with the mashed potatoes, and I think I'm going to do glazed carrots. So I'm going to grab some of those, and we'll take those upstairs too. So for dinner tonight, we're going to have some pork chops from our hog that's in the freezer. And I'm going to use this Grill Mates Chipotle pepper seasoning to marinade. I'm going to throw them together, put them on the grill. Yes, it's 11 degrees outside. I don't care. You put the powder in here along with oil and water. Put it in the bag. And then we add the pork chops and let them sit for about 15 minutes. I also put the mashed potatoes out of the freezer into the oven, and they have to cook for at least 30 minutes. I'm giving enough time before dinner just to make sure I don't need more time than that. And for the carrots, all I have to do is open them up and put them in a pan. Okay, let's check these chops. We've got a ways to go before we reach our temperature. Okay, so I have to tell you about the potatoes. They were in this pan, and when I took them out after 30 minutes, which is what they're supposed to bake in, it was still frozen on the top. So I just turned it upside down into this pan, and it's not frozen. Oh, there's ice still in there, you guys. This is crazy. I'm gonna have to microwave it. This is frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna pop it in the microwave and see what happens. Okay, you guys, here's the reality. You thaw the mashed potatoes before you put them in the oven. So I have had them in the microwave for 8 minutes, and can you hear that? Still frozen in the very middle. But we're going to go ahead and eat from the outskirts because I'm ready to eat dinner. We have our pork chops, we have our carrots, and the part of the mashed potatoes that we're going to eat. They look creamy and yummy. All right, that's what's for dinner. Okay, to summarize on this week, these potatoes are really good. After we got them thawed out, they're fluffy, they're moist. I think tomorrow I will take what's left and put some cheese and bacon bits on it and warm it up like that. So I think that's a win. And the glazed canned carrots were amazing too. That is another, I will definitely can these next year. I make glazed carrots, but they're not as infused as these are, and they were delicious. This is Zola, and she's not very happy right now, are you? So in order for Grandma to video, I had to pick her up. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this week, even though it was crazy. So let me know how you like this format as opposed to the format where I voice over everything, and I will do that next week, whichever one you like the best. So until next time, Zola and I say blessings on you and yours.